The Jefferson Award for Support for Children and Family goes to Luann Powers, whose tireless work has provided supplies and a better Christmas to hundreds of West Tennessee families. Santa's Helpers began in Luann's home and the back of a pickup truck. Today, there's a storefront and a small group of dedicated volunteers.
One year, 11 years ago, I had a parent that gave me a $100 bill, and I had her child in my class, and she said, buy something for somebody that's not going to have a big Christmas. So I took $25 and 4 different children, and we bought a couple of toys, a pair of pants, a pair of tennis shoes, and a shirt. We wrapped each thing individually, put it in a black trash bag, tied it up, called the family. They picked it up and put it on the Christmas tree. Well, we thought we had really done something good, and the family said that the children were so pleased and so happy because they were not going to have a very big Christmas. The second year, the same mother, I again had another one of her daughters, came and gave me $100, and her mother gave me $100. So we did the same thing. We picked children that were not going to have a good Christmas. We talked to their families, and some had lost jobs, and a lot of them were single families, just had one parent, and we did the same thing, and we just doubled it. The third year, people began to be involved and interested and began offering to help, and from then on, it has gone from helping 4 to we had 439 this year.
I'm a firm believer that God has us in places preparing us for something else, and I think that He never intended for her to stop really touching the lives of other people, and she has continued to do that. And through the networking, through the communication process, down through the years of teaching and touching people's lives, she has just carried that over into this particular ministry.
While teaching in elementary schools, Luann brought food and clothing to her classroom for the children who were in need. From that humble start, Luann has built a network of churches, organizations, and individuals who help her answer the call for service.
I retired to do this full time. It's like an 8-day-a-week job. On Christmas Day, we had one family that still had not gotten their toys because they had moved. And having lunch with my family on Christmas Day, I got a phone call, and the lady was in town. So I met her down at Santa's Helpers, and she picked up their Christmas, and they went and opened them.
She loves to dote over people. You know, she's always there. She's ready to give a hug, and you know, I've seen her at the nursing home with the residents. I see her when we're in town, and some of our former students come up to her and want to give her a hug, and you know, she still treats everybody like they're one of her first graders.
These wouldn't be bad on the green either.
No, that look good.
In fact, they match. You might rather have those instead of that one.
Luann's service is now year-round, supplying clothes to several missions and providing basic necessities to schools, retirement homes, and victims of disasters.
She came to our nursing home. Her mother was there, and her mother passed away, but she continued to volunteer. Anything that I needed, anything our residents needed, you pick up the phone, you call Luann.
Just a few weeks ago, we had a person to show up at our church who really had nothing, was sleeping on the floor, had no furniture, no food. After the service was over with, Miss Luann met us at her place, and we supplied that man with some basic necessities that he needed at the time. And it's just those things like that. Miss Luann has been gifted with the gift of service and the gift of hospitality.
Luann will use the Gannett Grant for Santa's Helpers, making sure there is enough food, toys, and supplies for the kids this Christmas.
The church is never more the church, or like the church that Jesus intended for it to be, than when it's touching lives, touching other people's lives and ministering to them. It's hard to tell somebody about the bread of life when they don't have physical bread, when they're hungry. And Miss Luann makes that first point of contact with so many people with the basic necessities, which leads into really just a way of showing the love of Christ to those people.
She's my best friend. I haven't met anyone else like her. She's good with children, she's good with everybody. And we have residents at our nursing home. This is what touches me too. They have no families. She is their family. Miss Powers, will you bring me a coat? Miss Powers, will you bring me a pair of shoes? She'll go then and she'll bring it back. It's just seeing the way she touches the lives of everybody else. She's wonderful.